Welcome to the Metal Prognosis. My name is Lee, and in today's video we're talking about vocals and also singing vocals. So I've got the Behringer Tube Ultragain Mic300. We're going to run this through a condenser mic, so we're going to need to bring in the power that's used off this unit. Everything's going straight dry, so we're only going to be utilising what's on this. So some of the sound might be a little bit too soft, might go a little bit too loud. Hopefully it doesn't peak. Hopefully we can control it so nothing does go too overboard with it. And I'll take a screenshot so you can see the progress of it as well. Not just by using your ears, you can see a visual representation as well. And we'll see how we go. The biggest thing I was attracted towards this was its limiter. There's not many preamps for mics have limiters on it, so I'm really keen to see how this is going to hold up and how it all works. So let's start rearranging all these cameras and lights and everything, set everything up, and cue the cute little cartoon intro, and let's go start having some fun. Have something now. There we go. All right. So this being a condenser mic, it needs a phantom power to be able to run. And now we can start mucking around with things. Being a condenser mic though, it is very sensitive. So as you can hear, we've got a decent amount of volume coming through just with me talking, and not much rocking in the gain or the output. But we want to push it to really see, well, without peaking too much, see what we can actually do with it. So let's see what we can do. So firstly, we have the gain pad. If we want to bring it down a little bit, which we might have to with this mic, we'll wait and see if we need to or not. Reverse the phase, limiter. Limiter is my biggest attraction towards this little unit. And some output. And at the moment it has its own little gauge thing, but it's not doing much at all. So let's see, I'm going to be looking at the computer screen as well, as best as I can. Add a bit more gain, a bit more gain. All right, so now getting a lot of voice coming through. And some really bad vocals, but you were warned. So let's see if this, all right, so we do have the meter coming up now, which is good. So that does do its thing. Very little output, but we've got decent levels going into the computer. Let's chuck the limiter on and see if that helps it to stop peaking, which is exactly what we don't want it to do. That crams it pretty nicely. Looks like it's a little bit slow on the capturing it, because just when I'm talking like this, it had a little bit higher peaks compared to when I was being a lot louder with my vocals. That's all right. That's all cool. No. That is working really, really solid. I like that. Cool. I don't know what else we really need to test. I mean, I can push. We do like doing stuff for science, so let's just push this gain up a little bit more. No. Yeah, and it's still really doing what it does. It's just stopping and capping it at a certain volume. As you can see, once again, when I'm just doing little splurts in my voice, it is peaking a little bit beyond that, so that is worth taking note of if you are using this. But let's get to a singing part. So I'm going to run through the song. We'll have the same thing up on the screen, and let's see how we go with that. And I might need to muck around with it while I'm at the song, might not. I'm just going to leave all the cameras on, and we'll see what happens. Here we are once again, the beginning of the end. Try to see
picture where you stand, show it off to all your friends, make it seem like everything's fine.
And there's a really good prime example of some raw vocals that have been out of practice for a long time, running through the Tube Ultragain Mic300. That does sound like a fancy, like, bizarre hairspray or something that they would have used in the 90s as a branding title. That's all right. This is pretty rad. This just went straight in my desk, nice and dry, in the actual Cubase, totally dry as well, to really see how much we could push it. So if you have a look, at the start of the song there's a bit of noise. A condenser mic's very sensitive, and we did have the gain pushed up real high, like real high. So I don't know if I could put that there just so you can see how high that we actually had the gain. It was pumping pretty hard. So the fact that we picked up a lot of unwanted noise to start with before I started singing, that's no surprise, because we didn't do it to the best of its ability. We did it to its max to see how far we can push it with the limiter, to see if we can keep everything at bay the best as possible. And I think that did really well. And considering that we didn't touch anything in there, in Cubase, it's really easy to clean that up and to even control it running through the desk or something else if you wanted to use those settings. But you can muck around the settings a lot better than that, so you wouldn't have to do workarounds like that. But let's run through all these little things. Pad we didn't really need, I didn't even really try, because yeah, we kept the output so low, we didn't need to really worry about it. If we wanted to push it a little bit higher, then yeah, running it through a condenser mic like that would be extremely handy, having a 20 pad thing. This is condenser mic eating power, so we had to run it through that. Took a little bit for the power to kick in, but that's not here or there. You're never going to be ever in a position where you want to toggle the power on and off with this. You set it before you start singing, and you don't turn it off till afterwards. Phase, didn't need to worry about phase reverse. No problem, but the limiter did really well, considering we had near to no output coming through, and it really kept everything at bay really nice. So having something like this in the studio is pretty friggin' handy to be able to capture vocalists with wide range without feeling like it's been too compacted and too boxed in, if that makes sense. I haven't heard the full mix yet going through, because I haven't done it yet, so futurely editing this might think differently, going that might sound a little bit too cramped to that. But what I was hearing coming through the cans and what I was seeing on the screen looked very usable and user-friendly, I should say. It's not just serviceable. I want to put it up a little bit higher than that. But yeah, very glad I got this, because this is very cool. Because normally I'd have to muck around with the desk and do a couple of little workarounds to make sure I'm getting the cleanest capture of the vocals. So then when it comes to editing, the least amount of editing you can do to keep it as natural as possible, the better. So having something like this to capture it first and foremost to the best of your ability is really handy. And the other thing that's really handy is this is pretty cheap. I had to buy it. They're not sponsored or endorsed or anything. But yeah, the fact that it's so cheap as well and doesn't take up much desk real estate is also a little bonus. So moving forward, when I do collab work or with other vocalists, don't know if I'll start singing again outside of just doing examples of these videos. But this is going to be something that's going to be really handy to bring out and to use. So I might have to do another video with this using a ribbon mic instead of the condenser one, to see if that reacts differently, or how that works compared to having something so powerful as the mic that I've got. We'll see. We'll see what the future brings us. Thank you very much for joining me in this video. Thank you for tolerating my vocals and putting it through. Hopefully the science of it and the engineering aspects overtook the lack of skill that was being presented with you. But I really look forward to hearing your thoughts on this. And yeah, if you've used one of these, or how you do your little workarounds and things, because you can't just put a mic in a desk and off you go willy-nilly or straight to the audio interface, because things will peak, go crazy, and there's a huge amount of work to do after that compared to controlling it better going in. So yeah, definitely keen for your thoughts. So until next time, stay safe.
Here we are once again, the beginning of the end. Try to see